Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Flipping Excuses Show. My name is Michael Bretthauer, and I am joined with Jason Palliser. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I can't wait for this video. We're talking about my life's work, my expertise. So
We are, yeah. You've
super
been,
pumped about that.
how many years? 16, 17 plus years in financing?
This is the first time on the show that somebody's going to get smacked. I'm 27 years deep.
I was trying to give you a compliment, man. I was going to say.
I'm joking. Hey, I'm 27 years deep in the investment funding space because we're going to be talking about funding here. So, right?
And this is a big one. Yeah, we're going to be talking about funding, and it's huge. It's huge because most people that are in real estate, and in fact, whether you're getting started or even a seasoned investor, and I would say especially when it comes to seasoned investors, know the importance of how to get financing for their deal. They're not going to pull the money out of their own pocket to finance every single deal, right?
Yeah, correct. And I'll just lay this foundation for the video here is that deals fall apart. Deals slip through people's fingers when they're not prepared and they don't know what type of funding is available at their fingertips to close the deals that need to close fast and which ones they should go after for different types of deals.
Exactly. So if we could today, if we could break it down a little bit for our viewers, because it doesn't necessarily matter what strategy you're deploying. Yeah, although that can play in what financing you use, but by and large, I would, in my experience so far, and I would assume in new strategies we learn, that it doesn't really matter as long as you have the right type of financing lined up.
Yeah. So there's different strategies where you don't need capital, but by and large, most of the time, the property owner that you're striking a deal with is going to want something. So, so some of the methods where you try and wiggle into the deal with little or no money at all, which is completely fine. And we encourage you to do that. But the bottom line is that a lot of times you need capital for deals and the different deals that present themselves. You just want to go into battle knowing that there's different ways to fund a deal.
Right. Well, and not just, knowing that, but in case something happens.
Correct.
You have that exit strategy to still make sure your deal goes through.
Yeah, and you have a backup plan, right?
Exactly. So let's get into this a little bit more. Let's talk about deal funding. Let's talk about how you get your deals financed and how you can do this with maybe not a good credit score. Maybe you don't have any sort of capital down payments or anything like that.
Okay. So let's start breaking this down. And again, for those of you who are just joining us, like and subscribe, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, have some comments. I expect a lot of people to either privately hit us up or put in the comments. A big deal in which causes a lot of people to sit on the sidelines is the funding part of it. So let's start breaking that down. So this doesn't have to be some big scary monster, but let's start. I'll work in order of what you said, Mike. So I'll start with, well, hey, I'm getting started. Look, Jason, I know. Let's get down to brass tacks. I know the bottom line is that I'm going to get in front of some deals that need to close fast, and I might need some capital lined up. And hey, look, it might even not be that you have some dinged up credit or your score isn't where you want it to be. It might just be that you're new to establishing credit, and regular banks have all these rules. Do you have an installment loan that you've paid on for more than a year, like a car loan or a student loan?
Red tape, we like to call it.
It's all the red tape. It's all the stuff to get regular financing, right? So let's work in reverse and start with somebody who doesn't have perfect credit, or maybe you're just establishing credit and you know that you can't just stroll into a bank and get financing. Okay. And I'll also say, or on top of that, it's a deal that needs to close fast. Most banks, you'd be hard pressed to close in 30 days. Okay, 30 days or less. And what if you're presented with a deal that needs to close in 18 days? So the first thing I want to talk about, Mike, is just private money and hard money. I kind of lump them together. They're a little bit different. So let me break down both of those. I'll start with hard money. Again, been funding for 27 years. I've also been doing private funding for 16 years and hard money for 16 years. And so let's start with hard money. Hard money, the phrase of hard money means, hey, I'm talking to a lender that's going to give me a higher interest rate. And the trade out is that maybe I don't have to have all those qualifications. So maybe they're not going to look so much at credit score. Most hard money lenders are what we call asset-based lenders. They're going to look more at the asset versus what your credit score is and do you have a ton of money in the bank and all this other stuff. So why you want to talk to a hard money lender is they're more lenient and they're willing to go ahead and fund a deal where there's more risk involved in return for a little bit higher interest rate. Does that make sense?
It does. And Jason, if you wouldn't mind really quick, because I know hard money lenders, they get kind of a bad rap.
They do.
They do. So if you wouldn't mind explain a little bit as to, when you might want to use a hard money lender and why they are still a good tool to use to fund your deals.
Yeah. So let's break that down. And I'm glad you said that. And again, that's how I started my speaking career. Some of the largest companies in America said, hey, we know that you have the investment funding guidelines across America down pat. So they hired me to speak on that, to help the investors that they were training get funding on their deals. So, one thing that I started teaching everybody is this: it's not hard money. I call it easy money. Meaning, people call it hard money because, hey, we're lending on the asset, but it's going to be a higher interest rate. In my opinion, who cares, right? I call it easy money because they don't, you might not have to end up giving them paycheck stubs, tax returns, W-2s, and be like, hey, we're going to get an appraisal to see what we think the future value is, so we're comfortable in what we're going to lend to you. And we just want to know that you at least have some money in the bank to make the payments. And if the deal's good enough, we may require you to put 5% down. We might not even require you to put anything down. Just pay our fees up front and we'll fund your whole deal. So that's why people go to hard money lender, is that it's what I call easy money. Okay.
I love that. I love that easy money.
Yeah. Now, having said that, what type of deals would you bring to a hard money lender? I don't know. Maybe a deal that needs to close in 10 days. Most hard money lenders, if you give them everything that they need, can close in 5, 7, 8, 10 days. So those deals that normally you would have to pass on if you went to a regular bank. And again, I've been a banker for 27 years. If you came to me and you looked perfect on paper and you had all your paperwork ready to go, I'd still be hard pressed to get that thing done in under 30 days. So when do you want to use a hard money lender? When a deal needs to close fast, like a house that's going to tax sale, like somebody that's in pre-foreclosure status and they have 3 weeks left. That's exactly when you would want to use a hard money lender. Now, having said that.
Well, in fact, I was just going to ask you if a hard money lender, even though they get such a bad rap, it sounds like somebody who can come in at the last minute and help save your deal.
Absolutely. And so now I want to expand on that.
Hey, go grab a copy of our brand new book. We'd love to put this in your hands. The Art of Flipping Deals. You could go grab your copy today at theflippingbook.com. Make sure you head on over to theflippingbook.com. We'd love to get this in your hands today and show you exactly how you could get free exclusive inbound leads in your business today. Make sure you head on over to theflippingbook.com. Take care. Bye.
So let's break this down a little bit further for you. Now, this also applies to somebody with an 800 credit score. You may be listening going, Jason, yeah, that's just for the beginners and the masses and blah, blah, blah. And I've got an 800 credit score. I can walk into the bank and get the best interest rate on the planet because hard money lenders usually lend out at 10, 11, 12%. You might be able to go to a regular bank and get an investment loan at 6.5%, or in today's world, 7.5%, right? So you're going to pay a lot more in interest, but here's the thing. It comes down to whether you close the deal or you don't. I don't care if you have an 800 credit score, good for you. Meaning this, that you have an 800 credit score is not even remotely directly related to closing that deal fast. So I always say that for this reason. Look, if you have great credit and you've got great banking relationships, sometimes you get in front of deals that absolutely need to close fast. For you not to have a private and hard money lender lined up is one step short of criminal to me because you're going to let a deal fall through that you might make $100,000 on. Why would you do that? Because here's the reality, and here's where when it's delivered to you the right way, like, you know what? Okay, I have my new programming in place now. Look. If you can get a loan because you have great credit at 7.5%, but if you go to a hard money lender and you pay 11, okay? So you're paying a lot more interest, but here's the funny thing. You get that hard money loan, that's a Band-Aid loan, meaning you're just getting it to close the deal, and then we're going to do whatever we want with it on the back end and unload it. Let's say you're done. Once you get the funding to close the deal, you've reached that finish line, but now that you're done, you've only paid 3 months of interest at an extra 3 or 4% on, let's even say a $250,000 loan. You ended up paying an extra $1,000 in interest, but you didn't lose the $100,000 deal. If you went the regular route, well, I would never pay that interest rate. Great. You're not even my competition. You're not going to close that deal because you'll never get it closed in time. I'll come in and say, hey, I can close fast enough because I saw the value in working with a hard money lender.
Think about that. It doesn't matter what your interest you're paying, how much you're going to make if your deal doesn't close.
Yeah.
So
it's irrelevant.
That is a master tip right there. So any one of you, and I guarantee you, Jason, I guarantee you there's people watching right now that at some point were told and whispered in the ear, don't get a hard money lender. It's a waste of time. It's terrible rates and you're not going to close your deal. That was a master tip right now. And I'm telling you, if you liked what Jason just said, A, you should go out and start developing some relationships. Find yourself a good hard money lender that can bail you out of some tough spots or just be there when you need them. And then B, like, comment, and subscribe. Right? Comment below. In fact, I'm curious, anybody who's watching right now, if you've ever been told in your real estate investing career history, don't use a hard money lender, they're terrible, it's been whispered, comment below and let us know. I'm curious.
That's insane, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why these large companies hire me, because I broke down the difference between all of them. And literally, I'm like, hey, I don't care if you have a 500 credit score or an 800 credit score. This is what you need. Now, let's break down private money lender, because sometimes people get that. Is that a hard money lender, Jason? No. What that is you reach out in the marketplace to people who have capital and say, hey, if I present a good deal to you, I would like you to be my capital partner or my private lender on it. And all that is one step below a hard money lender, where you've established a private relationship with them. Say, I'll present a good deal in front of you. I'll answer any questions that you have. Can you fund my deal? And if you can fund my deal, I'll pay you 8% interest. Can you give me a loan for 4 months, 6 months? All you're doing is negotiating with somebody personally that can fund your deals when you present a good deal to them, and lining up private capital at cheaper interest rates and cheaper costs than a hard money lender. So I would strongly suggest that you do that. Just sit down and have coffee. And here's how I approach it. And master tip. So when you sit down with somebody you think that you have money that could fund your deals, what I want you to do is this. Just simply sit down with them and have coffee. Say, hey, the reason I'm sitting down with you is that I have no problems getting in front of good off-market deals. I just can't close fast enough. I'm writing contracts that close in 30 days, but my competition is writing contracts that can close in 15 days or 18 days. So what I'd like to do is establish a relationship with you that if you tell me how much capital that you can come up with and what's a reasonable amount of time that it can be ready if I put a good deal in front of you, then I'll start writing appropriate contracts, and I'll agree to pay you a flat fee of 6%, 7%, 8% for giving me that money. And I would like to create that ongoing relationship with you. I'll protect it with the deed of trust on title. I'll protect it with insurance. I'll get insurance on the property. And if there's a loss on it, you're on my insurance policy. Here's all your money. So it's insured. So I would like to give you a good return on investment, protected by a hard asset. And I simply want to stop losing deals because I'm writing 30-day contracts versus losing them to people who are writing 15 to 18-day contracts. That is the fastest way to get somebody on the other end who doesn't even do real estate to understand. That's an easy concept for them. Oh yeah, you're going to lose the deal. You're going to lose the deal if you're writing 30 days and they're at 15 days. I clearly see that. That's why I want to work with you. That's private money. And then lastly, I think all of us know if you want to get the best interest rates, then you're going to get your tax returns, paycheck stubs, W-2s, all the normal stuff that you would do to get a bank loan and go to a bank. When do you want to utilize that? When you want to get a better rate, when you're holding the property long term, and when you have the appropriate amount of time to get that type of bank funding with the good interest rates to the finish line, which I would always tell you better have a contract that's 30 days, and in a market where there's tons of loan applications coming in, typically when there's better interest rates, then you might want to even write a 45-day contract. Now you're walking around knowing what you can and can't do. Now you can close deals faster because you've created relationships with private lenders and hard money lenders. And now you know, hey, it's appropriate for me to write a contract that's going to close in 30 to 45 days if I want to get the best interest rates in the marketplace, and I need to verify. Right. So that's kind of breaking it down for you, so that you know when a deal's presented to you, what funding bucket does it fall in. So again, I'd like to know, actually put in the comments, if you've ever done hard money or private money, what's the interest rate that you got? I'd like to know so that we can respond to you and say, hey, that's pretty on par with what you can get in the marketplace. Or if you throw out a number that we think that you can get better, isn't that good to know? So we want to interact with you and help you put things in place so that you can close deals when they present themselves from a funding standpoint. We're here to help.
Hey, Jay, this is all good stuff, man. And what we've learned today so far is that when it comes to who should you use and financing your deal, you have, at least in this video, we've talked about 3 options. The hard money lender, which I know some people might have written off right away, and now you know, hey, this is somebody that can help me close my deals quickly, especially something that is urgent, tax delinquent or something. I got my private money lender that can help me, close deals similarly to the hard money lender, maybe giving me more favorable terms, but this is the person that's going to be more cultivated. I would be able to deploy them on a different type of a deal. It doesn't necessarily need to be something super urgent. And then you have the traditional bank financing that we all kind of know about. And there's stop me if I'm wrong, but there's lots of other ways you can fund deals, transactional funding and escrow agreements, other ways. But these are the 3 major ways. If you're trying to finance, you want to purchase a property and do something with it, you need to have capital to deploy. So 3 excellent strategies. Jason, anything else on these before we wrap up on how to finance their deal and who they should use?
I built my speaking career in the investment funding space on this phrase: money chases good deals. Hey, I'm worried about getting funding, this, that, and the other thing. If you've locked up a good deal, money chases good deals. You just, as a responsible owner of the business, you need to have these conversations with hard money lenders, people that could potentially be your private money lender ahead of time, and get all the documents that you're going to use over and over and over to the lender that you're going to use on regular bank financing, so that you're prepared. Money chases good deals.
I don't think we need to say anything else. Money chases good deals. That's a great way to end it. Jason, it was a pleasure being with you again here today. Everyone here on the channel, thank you. Make sure, again, like, comment, subscribe. Money chases good deals. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye, folks.